Hello, welcome to Creative You Podcast. This is Catherine Kirby, and it's like 4 in the morning, and here I am, bright and chipper. I haven't been to bed. So, welcome to a 15-minute spot about knitting, crocheting, and life in general, and uplifting stories and encouragement to be a woman who smiles a lot and has inner joy. So on the last podcast, I was working on the Ammolite number 2 cowl. Now I could have made this wider, and I did my cowl on a number 9 needle instead of an 8, so it is much wider than it should have been. I also think this would be just a pretty small cowl for winter. This is done with Cascade 220 Aran Splatter, and this yarn is a joy to work with. Your fingers know when you are working with good yarn. Some projects are just a joy and you don't want them to end, and then they don't because you have yarn left over. So the pattern is by Vikki Perkins out of Alberta, Canada, and there's lace pattern 1, 2, repeat 1, do 3, repeat 1, and then I could have done a couple more, but I decided to stop because I felt like it was wide enough and I could have maybe even just done it that big. So in the cold of winter, can I double it? I can. That's good. If I'd done it in an 8 needle, maybe I would not have been able to. This color reminds me of butter pecan ice cream and pistachio. I didn't work in the ends on purpose to talk to you about that. So I don't think you can see it, but you have little brown flecks, reddish brown flecks. One of the things that I like is that if you turn it to the inside, it's also nice. I like the inside. I would call this reversible. Vikki has a lot of cowl patterns on, and it looks like wow, I like the inside. So I wear it either way. Now, maybe there are some of you that when you have to work in ends, you just work them in. But actually, when you work in ends, you don't want to go in a straight line, because as that yarn works out, it's going to easily just work out. What you can do is go in and out and then reverse directions. And then again, you want to work in a good 6 inches. Sometimes at the point where you've cast on or bound off, you may need to take the yarn in and out a few times and just tighten this up. This was done with the knit 2 together through the back loop elastic bind off, which did a nice job, and it is loose. You know, I knew a woman one time who did a cowl. The more I look at that, the more I like the inside. And it told her to do a stretchy bind off, and she didn't. Wow, it's hard to say. I love the colors too. I was kind of hoping it ended with the green again, and I could have cut it and finagled it, but I just decided to just whatever happens, happens. And I really like it. This may just turn out to be one of my favorite projects. So with all the other projects I have going, I decided to cast on another one of Vikki's patterns, and hey, why not, you know? So this is her Eriogonum cow, which looks very pretty. So far, mine really isn't. Maybe it's because mine is spread out, because on her picture, it looks more like that. So we'll see. But the name comes from a small flower, a small alpine flower that goes in South Alberta, where Vikki lives. The other one, she did in a myriad of colors. It was done with a Karen cakes, comes again from a term of a microorganism that dies and falls to the ocean floor, and then sediment covers it, and a mineral comes in and interacts and turns it into a opalescent, beautiful thing. And so my colors certainly don't reflect that. And actually, I didn't look it up to get a picture, but the flowers come in pinks, yellows, and reds. Obviously, my cow is blue, but I still like the very lacy design. So here goes. Let's find out together what a Ammolite looks like. I have pets, so you might hear a kitty meowing. He likes to go out and sit on the front porch, and he comes in and he goes out. So, ooh, you can get beautiful jewelry. I can see now why Vikki did that cow in all those bright colors. This is actually jewelry from Canada. And there is a piece of Ammolite. So my colors don't at all reflect, but I still love the pattern. Isn't that gorgeous? Now you know what Ammolite is. Wow. The other day I showed you a ripple blanket out of Whirligig. Whirligig is a cascade yarn that is 60% merino. Now merino is a high grade. It's not like just plain wool. And the yarn is soft and it's nice to work with. When you just have two colors done, and I've noticed that middle wants to pop out, it's hard to picture why anybody in their right mind would put these two colors together. But I'm headed into a rose, and then you'll start to see things shift and turn around. I just feel compelled to start these things. And you know what? Eventually they'll get finished, right? So this week I've been talking about compliments and uplifting stories. And I heard a story about an elderly couple many, many years ago who went into a hotel to get a room. It was dreadful outside, pouring down, raining, damp. And the clerk told them that he was very sorry they had no rooms. There were big conventions in town, but he said, I really can't turn you out into this weather, so why don't you stay in my room? Oh no, we couldn't do that. But he persuaded them. So the next morning when they checked out, they thanked him overwhelmingly. And the older gentleman said, you know, you have quite what it takes to run a hotel. One day I just may build one for you. Some time passed, maybe a year or so, and the young man got a letter and a round-trip ticket to New York inviting him to meet with this couple. When he got there, they took him to the corner, and here is this incredible, majestic hotel. And the older gentleman said, see, I told you, I built this for you to manage. It turned out to be the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. So you never know who you're talking with or who you're waiting on or who you're serving. We should treat everybody with love and respect. Which brings me to a part in the podcast which may be unpopular. And years ago, I sold home interiors. It was a party plan where you went into the home with decorative items, framed pictures, candles, sconces for the wall. And Mary Crowley started the company. She was a woman of faith. And she had a little creed, and I would say it at all of the parties, that the woman is the main influence on the character of mankind. And the woman is the heart of the home. She sets the tone. If the woman isn't happy, nobody's going to be happy. It's true. The woman is the greatest influence on the character of mankind. And so in these tough times, I feel like I want to ask you one question. Do you want to be a woman of integrity? So God knows when you need uplifting. And this book that I just finished was about a woman who was persecuted and her reputation threatened. And she said, the man said to her, your determination is impressive. And she said, when one is right, one must not be swayed, even when one stands against the tide of the majority. Okay, I really needed to hear that. At my yarn shop, I made it very clear that politics does not have a place. If you have a knit in and someone starts talking politics, somebody is going to be unhappy. And that's not what knit-ins are about. Knit-ins are supposed to be a getaway from home and a peaceful time. And so I have also made it a point not to bring politics into the shop. So the other night, I watched a YouTube podcast called Blue Collar Logic. It's two gentlemen out of California, and they talk about things that most of us should know about. And they talked about how the data has been severely skewed in this coronavirus. And you know what? This isn't the first time in history this has happened. I'm watching a series right now called The Truth About Vaccines. And back when the polio vaccine came out, they skewed data big time to make it look in favor of their product and to get wealthy. So when you hear the truth about something, that the coronavirus, COVID-19, is no more dangerous than the flu, that the mortality rate, meaning the percentage of people that die, is probably about 0.1%, you want other people to know, because this has caused great fear. However, when I posted something, I got a lot of not very nice comments telling me that my brain's been hijacked, I'm not respectable. And the bigotry card. Bigotry is when, if you don't agree with me, I'm done with you. I'll never come in your shop again. You've lost a customer. I'll take my business elsewhere. So, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, it is a time in history when, are you ready to be a person of integrity? Are you ready to get outside of the main media news and find out what's really true? And could somebody just take over our country and we would take it sitting down, it appears so. And what is, since my main audience is women, but there are men too, what is our role? What should we do? And what do we do in the days ahead? I was accused of not caring about the sanctity of life. Oh my goodness, yes, I do. It grieves my heart. And now we have so many people that don't know where their next meal is coming from. The food lines at food banks are probably worse than the Big Depression. And the online missionary services to get out the good news report they're getting 500,000 people a day. People in record numbers want to know about God and want to have a relationship with Him. So in the upcoming podcast, I'm not going to be quiet anymore. One woman wrote to me and told me that my brain got hacked. And didn't I say I wasn't going to talk politics in the shop? And I said, my shop's been shut down. I'm not in my shop. It's a time in history not to be quiet and to have an open mind. So if that offends you, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to knit, crochet, be the person I am, but I'm not going to hide that I'm a woman of integrity. So, shine baby shine, signing out.